Hello. How are you today, Prez?
I'm fine. How are you, Miss Lisa?
I'm hanging in there. Oh, I get a miss today. Oh boy, what's going on? Uh,
Just being polite.
um, so Prez, we are back for another Sunday live stream. Can you give us our topic of the day, or can you let everyone know the topic of the day?
The topic of the day is basically tools that we use while we're investing. Basically, what the tools are a variation of different like websites and different like apps that we use to help us research companies or maybe look for a potential trade, or we're just trying to find out what's going on with the market overall. And we don't want to rely on the main media platforms because they have a tendency to mislead us with fake news and um, FUD, which is called fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And they try to get us to sell low while they buy up what we sold, what they the positions that they shook us out of, basically.
Mhm. Mhm, mhm. Yeah, definitely. With anything, you gotta realize that the news media is gonna present what they wanna prioritize and the way they wanna, kinda swing it and package it. So, yes,
Right.
I agree with you on that. Um, so what, like, inspired you to do this? Like, I know you had mentioned, one week that your stepfather had opened an account. Are more people around you opening accounts that you are then having to show them, things like
Exactly.
this? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So
Mhm.
basically what inspired me to come up with this topic was there was no one around to tell me the different tools on how to research a company. Like you don't have to really go in depth of a company when you're just starting out, but you want to get the overall basics as to how well this company is doing. And if you feel comfortable enough to invest in this company for the next 5, 10, 20 years down the road. So we use different tools, like I said, because we typically don't want to trust the mainstream media. We want to do our own research. That's why we always preach, do your own research. And I'm going to give you a few basic tools today on that will possibly help you do your own research.
Okay.
One of
And can
the
you
main tools that I like to use starting out is, of course, the investing calculator, because I want to set goals first before you even get started. You want to set goals and see how long it will take you to achieve those goals. So I would use the investment calculator, which is investingcalculator.com. So I hope you guys brought your pen and paper today, because you're probably going to need it, or you're going to have to keep replaying this video.
All right. Well, I do try to go through when I can and put chapters. So yes, come back and go look for the information that you needed and wanna replay, 'cause I do try to put that in. So this is gonna be one of those prez that chapters will help you to find information again?
Yeah, definitely. Chapters will help you find a lot of the
Now, I just wanted to
individual
touch
tools
on
that
this.
you go ahead.
Um, Now, the way you were describing it, this is really for researching individual stocks, but what percentage of your portfolio do you have in individual stocks? Because I always wanna just highlight that for beginners that may not want to have their entire portfolio into a whole bunch of individual stocks. They can always choose an ETF. So I know we both have a high percentage in, for example, total stock market
Right.
ETF or index funds. What percentage of individual stocks do you try to hold?
Well, basically, how I do it is as far as percentage wise. I use the pyramid strategy that I pretty much came up adapted on my own, and fine tuned from different strategies that I learned from other content creators, where
Mhm,
I use the percentages, but I make it seem more so like it's a pyramid. That's the mindset that I have. I'm building a pyramid with
mhm.
my ETF being at the bottom, which is will be 60%, and then I will move up to versus in different tiers, and I
Yeah.
rate these companies on which tier I will hold it on. So the actual percentage of individual stocks will vary. So
Yes. So
let's say
40% as a whole, but then within that,
right,
some may be 10%, some may be 5, some may be 2.
exactly.
All right then. All right. I just wanted to highlight that because uh it's everybody's starting in a different place, and
Mhm.
you may not want to have your portfolio highly into individual stocks. But let's get going with where you were going with this conversation about the research tools.
Okay, now back to the investment calculator. That gives me a chance to enter in my starting amount on what I'm going to be investing, and then I will go down to the percentage gain per year. The average annual return on the stock market of the S&P 500 is around roughly 10% per year
Mhm.
on average. Now, our job is to try to beat that average by picking good investments that will appreciate in value over time, year by year. And go back to consistency. Consistency is very important, and you have to be consistent. And you don't really need a whole lot of money to invest. You can start with small amounts and scale it according to your budget.
Mhm, mhm,
So once you see the results of the investment calculator and you have your timeline on how long it will take you to reach your ultimate monetary goal, that's when you take your necessary steps you need to take to achieve that. And another tool that I use is basically MooMoo. MooMoo has a lot of information on different individual companies as well as ETFs. They can tell you the percentage holdings of each company inside of an ETF or REIT, which is a real estate investment trust, like your realty income. Um, you can also find out when the earnings reports and things of that nature, because as investors, we want to know how well the company is doing quarter by quarter. So is this company continuing to bring in a decent amount of revenue? Is they sustaining the economic downturns and upturns and things of that nature? And Moomoo is a good tool that we
mhm,
use
mhm.
to research these different companies. They'll give you an analyst rating, even though you take these analyst ratings with a grain of salt, but it'll give you a somewhat idea on where this company is going in the future.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody, I hope you're understanding what Prez is saying here. When we go into our investment app, he's saying that we're not necessarily just going and buying, say, a share of Apple or $10 worth of Apple. There is so many different tools and news and everything that is linked in certain investment apps that can help you to do research if it's something that you want to do find out more about before you start investing. And for example, you mentioned the earnings calendar. You can then use things like that to know, could there be a shift in the stock price this week depending on the results of their earnings that they're going to be reporting. Just so many different things out there. So it's not just about you hear about something and you jump into it without having a full understanding. And like he was saying, is this something that we're adding into our portfolio as a long-term investment, kind of something that's a set it and forget it, that we don't not going to be constantly watching and worrying about? For me, that would be something like my Amazon stock or my Apple stock. I'm not going to get those out of my portfolio. Those are long-term holds for me. So, what's up next, Prez? Prez, you know something? I was rewatching last week's show,
Hmm.
and I said that I would be willing to lose 40% on a trade, and you didn't even correct me. I meant to say $40, not 40%.
Ooh, I
I
might
was
have
like,
missed that one. It
you
might have
might have
slipped past my ears. No,
I
we
was
do
like,
not want to lose 40% in any trade whatsoever. The
"No, no."
the maximum amount that we'll be willing to lose is about 10%, maybe
Okay.
15% in a trade.
Yes, yes. So we keep our so I know that was a little off topic, but I was like, Prez didn't even correct me when I was saying that.
Hmm.
All right.
And you did say something about someone had a comment about expense ratio
Uh,
with ETF.
no. No, somebody wanted us to do a review or do a look, give our opinion of PEY, the
PEI.
funds PEY. Yeah.
I never
But
heard of
maybe
that.
yeah. Well, maybe we can prepare a little bit for next week if you don't wanna do it on the spot. But, let's take a minute to acknowledge everybody who's come into the chat. Thank you, Peachy and Ree and Realist and a brother, Miss V. Thanks everybody who's come in. Um, if I missed any questions so far, please put them in again, and I will be mindful to try to catch any questions that come in. So, Prez,
I see Trudy in here.
oh,
Hey,
Trudy.
Trudy.
Yes, Trudy. Oh, let me take another second and talk about Trudy before we get back to our topic of the day. Excuse me. Trudy was saying to me the other day that what is going to be like the emoji? What is like the emoji when she comes to my channel? And we can think about for your channel also. You know what I mean? Like when we go to Larry Jones, it's the coffee cup. With Keenan, it's like the oven mitt. With
Right.
Mo, it's yeah, okay. So
Hmm.
what is the emoji? Guys in the chat, if you could help us out with this, what is going to be, if you have any suggestions, what is like the emoji for Lisa J Stock's channel or Prez's channel?
That's a good one. I have
Okay.
no idea.
Yeah, no.
I
But
have no idea.
you definitely have them for people. For
Yeah.
me, it's a purple heart. If you see me put up, I usually always use yellow hearts, but if you see me putting up a purple heart, it's for Trudy. If you see me putting up an orange heart, that's for Peachy. So
Mhm.
I have certain emojis that I use for certain people, whether it's finance or I have certain things that I use. I don't have
One
the
going
going
up.
up one. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I like that one.
For yourself?
Yeah.
That's for you? Okay. Well,
During
we
the
still
during the bull market, the down one for the bear market.
okay. Well, we don't want to be thinking about the stock going down, but we also have to keep in
You
mind
can make money on the way down.
yes, we can. We can. We can. All right, but we have to keep that in mind. I wanted that to be a little side thing that we could do today. Work on an emoji. Okay. Peachy, I guess Peachy wants me to use the little happy face with the money on the tongue.
Yeah.
But yep. Okay, Daryl put a few in there too for us. Um, the one that you mentioned, the little ticker
Mhm.
symbol, the books. Yeah. All right. So let me just show that quickly. So these are some of our suggestions. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like the stock stuff.
Back to our topic, research tools. So you mentioned to me that you were getting helping uh one of your coworkers or associates with
Right,
starting up their portfolio. So
right.
how was that process for those that may be watching and maybe are investing on something like Cash App, but not necessarily a brokerage company or investment app, the way that we use. How is that process starting from the beginning with someone new? And what platform did this person, I don't know if it's a he or a she,
It's a
what
guy.
platform did they go with, if you don't mind sharing
It's a
that with
guy. He went with Webull.
mhm.
I showed him the promotion, and he was pretty much all for it because he's been seeing me talk about stocks at work and things of that nature. And like sometimes I'll show him like a result from a trade that I had made, and he'd be like, "You got to show it to me." I'm like, "If you're really serious, then just let me know. I'll come to your house and sit down with you, and we can go through this process together." So he was
Mhm.
like, "Well, just send me the link. I'll sign up." So, and when I sent it to him, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think he was gonna sign up because I send links to a lot of people and they never sign up, or they'll sign up
Okay.
but they'll never fund their account.
Okay.
So once I checked on my end, I looked at my invites and I seen that he had a deposit pending. I went to him and I said, "Do you have any questions? Feel free. I don't care what type of question it is. No such thing as a wrong question or a stupid question or anything like that. I take the time that without having much time you need. We can link up after work and I'll show you how to place buy orders and things of that nature." And that's how it's been going pretty much.
All right. All right. So what was his first investment?
He'll be making his first official investment this coming Monday, and he's going with BTI.
All right. So, okay. So can you kind of touch on the process? Because I think sometimes people, when they start getting into it, they get a little intimidated just by
Mhm,
the initial questions and the information that you have to share. I'll share quickly about when I was setting up my daughter's accounts. I believe I had to scan her social security card and her birth certificate in within my steps, as well as the company that I was using to set up her accounts. I already had my information there, so I didn't have to do too much on my part. But you got to realize these are steps to be ownership into a company. Just like if you're starting, for example, say a new job or opening up a bank account, you're going to have to show certain documents. So I seems like your friend did those steps on his own, but is there any
mhm.
insight or background that you can kind of touch on with that, just to give people the understanding of, plaid and
Um,
linking your bank account and not being afraid.
Not only linking your bank account, they'll ask you questions about your net worth and your income, your annual income. They don't really check to see if you're honest about those questions or not. You can say you're a millionaire on this questionnaire, long as you don't answer the question saying that you're doing insider trading or you a relative of a company for that brokerage, anything like that. You're pretty much good. All you have to do is give them your information because it's required by law. Plus, your assets are insured, so if anything bad was to happen, you will want to be able to claim your money. So, of course, go ahead and scan your ID and link your bank account. It's safe. You got
Mhm.
people that's millionaires
Well,
already
well,
that's
well. Let's say
went through the process.
it's safe, but go with a reputable platform, because I tell
Right.
you, there are scammers out there that try to say put $500 on whatever app that we've never heard of before. So I know I know for sure the companies that I'm with are reputable insured companies, and my investment links that are on my page are my actual links. Only take them from there, or if I would say that's the only place to get them, because people do even are on YouTube trying to scam, and as though they are representing
Yeah.
themselves as me. It's happened before. Um, and that's why I try to hold uh, my comments so that I don't get a lot of that, and I don't wouldn't want anyone to fall prey to anything like that. So
Right.
Peachy, for my retirement accounts, Peachy's asking, what do we feel is a reputable company? Um, and I think right now Peachy's doing most of her investing through her Cash App right now. So for my retirement account, my current employer uses Fidelity, and so I kind of have a few accounts there. And then personally, the ones that I decided to create on my own, I have an account at Public, Webull, and MooMoo. How about you, Press?
Um, I use Fidelity, of course. That's like my the different platforms that I use. I also have them structured like pyramids. So Fidelity will be at the bottom where you will see VTI at because Fidelity's been around forever,
And
basically, and
Fidelity, that's where you
yeah,
have your
and they have so
retirement?
many different they have so many different products and services for us to use with them, like your UTMA accounts and your different type of accounts. Like a lot of these smaller brokers, like yeah, they're reputable, but they don't have those same products and services. So you will want your nest egg to be with the most reputable company.
Mhm, mhm.
I think I said that right.
Alright, so and then you use Webull, you use
I
Public, you
use
use
Webull, of
the
course.
same 3 that I mentioned, you have those
Mhm.
also.
And I
Yes.
also
So
use Robinhood.
Okay, I do not have a Robinhood account, so if you have any questions related to Robinhood, bring those over to Prez. I'm not familiar with navigating that at all. And what you were saying about helping your friend, that was really, really great of you to say, I
Mhm.
will So did they set up a recurring, oh no, you said they haven't gotten started yet, but do
Right.
they plan on having it automatically do it for them? Or where are they at with that?
I think they're gonna do it manually for now. We haven't gotten that actually far as setting up recurring deposits or recurring investments.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm gonna
So,
be on them. I'm gonna be on them. Like you
well,
started, I'm gonna
there's
be on
only
them. I'm gonna be like his accountability partner.
yes,
You know,
yes.
because that's another tool off the top of my head. That's another tool that could be used in your investment journey, having an accountability partner. Because the
Mhm,
world of trading and investing it's a lonely world, and it's like you don't want to really show your gains or anything like that because you don't want to feel like you're bragging or anything like that. But sometimes you need to bounce an idea off of someone, like-minded individual about a
mhm.
company. Like, I don't know if you guys remember when I was speaking to Lisa about realty income. I honestly had a genuine concern about this investment, and I bounced the idea off of her, and she pretty much eased my mind on my standpoint on this company. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that's another
maybe.
tool that you can actually use in your investment journey, an accountability partner, because consistency is key. And I know sometimes it gets a little rough, especially in the down times of the market, the bear market. It gets a little rough, and you're looking at your red portfolio and you're wondering like what to do. Should I sell this? Should I sell this and buy something else? Or, sometimes you need that accountability partner to be like, hey, I'm still at it. I think you should stay at it too. You understand what I'm saying? And it
Mhm.
motivates
Okay, so we said ease your mind. Let's just leave it at that. Ease your mind, maybe,
you. Mhm.
but we're going to keep coming back to it every 2 months or 3 months. We're not going to just completely say, you know, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, uh, I have a question here about what would you and I recommend as steps to begin teaching children about finance?
Hmm. How I started with my about to be 9-year old, I asked him, do you know what a stock is? He said no. I said a stock is basically you're owning a piece of a company. So we were in the car when we was in the car driving. Matter of fact, this was today. We were in the car driving, and I pointed to a Nissan logo on a vehicle. I said, "You see that Nissan sign with the circle around it?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "That's the name of the company." I said, "Did you know that I can buy little pieces of that company, the Nissan company?" He said, "So basically, like you own a piece of the company?" I said, "Yeah." So, for example, say I paid $25 for a slice of this company. It's sliced up like a pie. Imagine you have a pie, and I pay $25 for a piece of pie, and then I sell it for $30. I said, "How much did I make?" And he did the math in his head, and he said, "You make $5." I said, "Yep, that's right. That's what we do. We buy low, we sell high."
So I think you are big about saying pay yourself first. So
Right.
I would say maybe that and I'm sure that's something that you're gonna instill in your son, your children, that you don't have to just use all of the money. You can take a certain portion for, entertainment, a certain portion for saving, a certain portion for investing. And your
Hmm.
investments are long term and you have to allow them to grow. But, these are things that I'm doing little by little with my daughter. But I guess Ree is just throwing out this question. So look, I just wanted to I don't know if we could tell her more on what she could do. And Ree, how old are your kids right now? Because I guess it depends on where they're at. Like my daughter, she's a teen, so she understands what VTI is. She could probably name for me off the top of her head at least 5 of the top, companies that are a part of that, ETF, and she understands why her portfolio has 80% into index funds or ETFs. And like I was showing her the other night that her Tesla, which is 5% of her portfolio, it was in the red. So, and I asked her like, how does that make you feel? And she was like, I know that she understands. She understands that it goes up and down. She thinks that Tesla is okay to be a part of her portfolio. for as a long-term investment, and she understands why it's only 5% of her portfolio because it has more volatility. And I wanted to be safer with her money and make sure that I'm looking for growth, but even more so than myself, when you're doing it for your child, and I feel like I'm even more conservative, and I was more knowledgeable when I started to build for her. So those are just a couple of things that we're touching on. Is just just instilling in them uh all kind of different aspects, the things that I ran into with, running myself into debt. So that's where it comes into the elements that I'm talking about: saving, investing, making sure you have money for entertainment, making sure that you're investing a portion, a reasonable amount, because we don't want to tap into our investments. We want to let them grow long term. And depending on how old your children are, oh, she said her child had just turned 11. Oh, his son
Mhm.
is 11. So, yeah, you have to start to share your stories with them. I don't know what your personal experience is. I told my daughter that I had myself into a lot of debt, and at times I was reliant upon credit cards. It wasn't my intention, but it happened, and then you're spending years digging yourself out of it, trying to repair your credit score, and just lots of things. But I just think it's important to share. And if you didn't go through any of those type of struggles, you can just start with the basic knowledge and show them, like what Prez was touching on with the investment calculator, and sit down with them and show them what you can accomplish with money being invested and saving. We need to do it all, but saving and investing are two totally different things, and it's an opportunity that I love for young people to take advantage of. I don't know if Peachy's still here. I was thinking about Peachy's godchild earlier today because, I know that she's gonna give a birthday gift. She's probably working on the Easter basket this week. So, we can also maybe take a little bit of money and put aside for the long term. I'm not sure how old the godchild is now, but if you have 15, 20 years, small gifts put aside for them can really grow. Is Anti on your side over there, Press? Anybody over
Yes.
there on your chat?
Yeah,
Okay,
anti
okay.
on my side.
All
I
right.
can see both chats on this time this week.
Yes, yes, it seems like it's working well. We're not having our technical difficulties from last week. So, I don't think I see any other questions. Is there anything else you wanna I did wanna talk a little bit about, you were saying accountability. Uh You
Mhm.
know, with that, I do enjoy talking to people within the Discord because it's a place where you can say the things like you were talking about. We can share our wins, and, there's certain platforms you're not gonna talk about it because you know what the response is going to be, you
Mhm.
know? But you have to, with that or whatever you're going through, if you're working out or if you're trying to, working on a health issue, bring your talk in a place where you're going to get encouragement, where people have knowledge and where people are going to root you on. And I love, leave a comment on my page and I will be here to root you on because I want to hear about the wins and people trying to uh, make sure to improve their financial outlook. So, but yeah, I know
On
if I
top of
had,
that, not one of us knows it all. We're all still learning. We learn from each other, and that's how we build and grow.
okay, okay. So I guess some of the things I was sharing there, Rhea was saying that she can pass that on to her son through the conversation about, debt and being responsible. And yes, having an emergency fund, having money aside, and then continually to build it up as you have to, if it gets depleted, build it back up because once you run into credit card debt, especially with the interest rates that we have going on nowadays, it's so
Ridiculous.
hard. It's so hard. So I'm glad that I'm really prioritizing right now, or I'm able to keep up with, um, as I charge something, I'm paying it off in full and not carrying any balances unless for some reason I do have a 0% offer or something like that. I try to do my best. And I also take advantage of using my credit cards for my utility bills and my car insurance and things like that. So I can rack up on points and cash back and different types of rewards points. But, if I go get gas, if I pay the car insurance, I then try to pay it immediately, but it's just a way that, I'm just trying to be mindful. And then, when those extra things come up that don't fit into your weekly budget, like I need some car repairs right now, I'm probably gonna have to take money from savings to deal with that because 'cause I'm not gonna have probably enough in my checking account to handle it. But that's why I make sure to have cash on hand to make sure to deal with those things, because there's always something unexpected. The bills go up, or you need some type of house repair or car repair. It's always something coming up. So,
Yeah, that's one of the many benefits of actually learning how to trade, because you can actually use some of your gains to supplement your income.
mhm, mhm. So David was commenting on debt management is so important. Um, so did you have more tools, or okay, so do you wanna concentrate on researching individual stocks? Is there more information that we can continue to get into on that topic?
As far as individual stocks, how do I research them? The first thing I do is I look at a 5-year chart, and the Robinhood app is great for looking at a 5-year chart on a particular company, individual company. Why I say that? Because the chart is basic. It's so easy to lose. So easy to read. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say lose, but it's so easy to read because it's pretty much it looks like a game, like a handheld game when you open up the Robinhood app. That's why a lot of people that years ago, like the last bull market, they started using Robinhood first because they like gamified investing. So I would look at the 5-year chart first, of course, and then I would look at the financials on the company. Like, are they profitable or are they not profitable? And that will determine my personal rating on this company. Like, which tier would I hold it on my pyramid? How much am I willing to allocate to this company for a long-term investment, or is it just a trade? So
Okay.
yeah, Robinhood is one tool that I use, and I also use Yahoo Finance because it gives me good analyst ratings, and it gives me like news articles on current events with that particular individual company. So plus I can also set news alerts and create different watch lists for different companies that I'm looking at. And it'll alert my phone all day long. I get stock alerts all day for different individual companies that I'm not even invested into. I'm just actually watching them, and I'm maybe thinking about getting into them one day.
Yeah, I do too, and that's why my Apple Watch and my phone and my devices are usually drained at 9:30 AM.
Yeah, it's
Everything
like the
is
Wild West. Your
yes,
phone be
it's
going
like
off.
buzz, 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 all my alerts hitting.
I get
Um,
alerted like if DraftKings hit a new 52-week high, and I don't even own DraftKings per se, but I've
mhm,
been
mhm.
watching it for probably like the last 2 years and never dabbled into it yet. But that's just an example of another tool that I use. I also use the Crypto Bubbles app because it shows me the hot cryptos that I could possibly get dabble into with a small amount of capital, of course, and with proper risk management. Like, I'll go on there and the bigger the bubble, the more action going on that particular crypto. That's how I look
Mhm.
at it. And that's pretty much how it's designed. You'll see all these different bubbles on the screen with the crypto logo on it. And the bigger the bubble is, the more action going on right there.
Here, this is what
Boom.
Prez is talking about right now. if you've never seen it before. There's so many, not that we're encouraging any beginners to dabble into this, but there's so many coins right now with weird
Mhm.
names. This one is called hat no,
Dog with
dog
hat.
dog with hat.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a real crypto coin that people are investing into.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, like you were saying about the presentation and I'm not familiar with Robinhood, but yeah, when you look at this is so fun and pretty.
It looks like a game, like
Yes,
they
it does,
gamified
it
it for
does.
us.
Mhm,
But they're
mhm.
anticipating us to not do our own research and to only rely on mainstream media news headlines. Like they'll put a article on your phone. You'll get a notification on your phone from Yahoo Finance or from Seeking Alpha or the Motley Fool that say if you would have put $1,000 in a Dogecoin 2 years ago, this is how much it will be now. And it has people like, well, I get my income tax coming up. I'm gonna go ahead and buy $1,000 worth of Dogecoin, and then it goes down to 7 cents, and they're waiting for it to come back to 10 cents. And they bought it at 10 cents. You understand what I'm saying? And that's not the way we want to go. We want to learn how to do our own research, and a lot of these tools will help you learn how
Mhm.
to do your own research. And a lot of
Yeah.
them are real simple. Like you saw the crypto bubbles, it's pretty much gamified to where as though the bigger the bubble, the more going on with that particular crypto. And
Mhm.
once I see one that I'm interested in, and a lot of them aren't available on the Webull desktop because I use Webull desktop for stocks. And I'll use TradingView. They have a free version that you can use. And I'll chart a particular crypto that I'm looking at from that I got from Crypto Bubbles. And it gives me all of the same tools. I can put lines on the screen that you see on some of these other content creators channels. You'll see lines on the screen. Those are basically support and resistance areas and buy zones and sell zones and where we will place our stop loss. It's that simple.
All right, can you elaborate a little bit on the stop loss for those that don't know?
Okay, a stop loss is a special type of order that we as traders use that limits the amount of loss that we're willing to take. So if I buy something at 80 cents and I see a support at 76, I may set my stop loss at 75 because I don't want to risk that price falling into the 50s, and I lose a lot of capital that way. I want to limit my loss so that
Yes,
way I
yes.
can reassess and maybe possibly re-enter at a better price.
Yes, yes. I definitely want people to make sure to get an understanding of this because, you hear about something and you wanna jump in, that's okay, but because we are all grown, because we're gonna do what we want, but if you just do a little bit of take the time to understand these type of things that can help you to mitigate any potential loss if you are dabbling into something speculative, if you do wanna get into crypto, um, you know, I don't want people to have a negative experience, lose money, and then turn their back on investing because a bad trade is not what we're talking about overall. For most people, we want them to have a long term investing portfolio. So, Trudy was touching on some of the same research tools that we use here. And let me see what a brother was saying here about people want instant gratification right now. And that's the thing. Um, when we're talking about investing, not everything is going to go up 10, 20, 30% overnight. That's not going to be the case. But you have to be consistent with make good choices and be consistent. And I feel that you're going to reap the rewards in the long run. Um,
And be diversified. Diversification is very important. It limits your volatility
yes.
because the market is like a roller coaster ride. It goes up, it goes down. So
Mhm.
the more diverse you are into good investments and you're allocated properly, you pretty much have nothing to worry about. Just stay consistent and let compound interest work. Let your money work while you sleep.
So Trudy's also given us a breakdown. She does not want. Did someone put in a comment about putting their retirement on Robinhood? I'm not sure. I might have missed something there. But Fidelity, Charles Schwab, Ledger for crypto. Um, I think those are good choices. So
Mhm.
did I put that up or did you?
No,
Whoops.
I didn't.
Yes. Okay. All right. Prez, listen, I'm still trying to get the hang of this.
Well, how to put the comments up?
No, just keeping up with everything and just, watching and making sure to acknowledge everyone and everything, just everything. Okay. So does anybody have any
Okay, so
questions?
let me touch up a little bit more on TradingView. Now, TradingView, you can download the actual app to your phone. You can also use it on your desktop, laptop. You can just download it there. You can just type in TradingView in your Google search, and it's pretty much easy to use. Or you can watch a YouTube tutorial on how to use TradingView, because there's a lot of tools on there that you can use that on a lot of these other platforms. And also you can download the Webull desktop to your laptop or personal computer, as well as use the app. But I prefer to use the computer version because it's much larger, and it's also, the interface is very easy to use.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah, YouTube, is a great resource, to find videos and shorts even that can quickly help you with those little questions that you have.
Hmm.
Um, all right. So I wanted to talk a little bit about an ETF tool that I use, but I didn't want to get into that until maybe you were done with all of the resources that you wanted to touch on concerning individual stocks.
I'm curious about this ETF tool. I want to know.
Well, I'm quite sure you've seen it before because I use it in my videos and I probably brung it up in our lives before. It's EFTRC uh, .com. And so it can give you comparisons, whether it's a comparison or just a detailed look at your ETF. It does that for you, and it can tell you if something is, say, for example, like I think both of us have a preference or have S&P 500 and total stock market into our portfolios. I think we both also have SPHD in our
Hmm.
portfolios. So I
Hmm.
think it's a good website to kind of look at what is the allocation of this particular ETF, which is an exchange traded fund. It's a basket of stocks that you get, say, hundreds, if not certain ones, even thousands, nearly 4,000 investments in one throughout. By investing into VTI, you're getting a little piece of about 4,000 companies, for example. Lots of different, like Prez was talking about, with diversification, you're getting different sectors and all of that in one investment choice. So, um, it's a way for you to just do some research if you want to find a fund that is heavily into technology or a different a certain sector. Then you can do that by having an ETF, and then if you want to from there, then mix in those individual stocks. Like we both have VTI in our portfolios, but we also both have, say, I think Apple and Google, for example, and
Hmm.
Amazon. We also
Hmm.
have those in our portfolio. So, yes, we're kind of duplicating our investments because we're getting in the top 10 companies in VTI. Those three companies that I just mentioned are in there, but then we also create a higher exposure into them by investing into them directly. So,
Right.
yes, Trudy is always dropping gems. So I
It
missed
truly
what
is
this.
very knowledgeable.
Yes. Um,
Another tool I use, trading economics. I use that because I want to be in tune with what the Federal Reserve is doing. That gives me future outlook on the direction of the market. And what trading economics does, it gives me the economic data calendar. So whenever the inflation data is coming out and whenever the Federal Reserve Chairman is going to speak, it gives me those dates. So I can adjust how I'm going to trade and invest accordingly. Like, for example, if Jerome Powell is going to speak on a Wednesday, I know to trade on thin ice if I decide to trade on that day because I already got the heads up. Versus I'm looking at a chart and I just see the stock market go on a haywire. I don't even know how to explain it, but on the days where Jerome Powell speaks, the market it it does that in the flash of a second. And if you don't know it's coming, then you don't know what to expect or how to react to this situation. And if you're not using a stop loss, you will get smoked. So that's why we constantly encourage you to, if you're going to learn how to trade, learn how to use a stop loss before you even before you even take your first trade. Or you
mhm.
already have your exit plan before you even enter.
Okay, so that's you talking with your investor hat on, but is there anything that you should keep in mind on those days as I'm sorry if I don't know if I said that correctly. That's you having your trader hat on.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there anything that you should have in mind as an investor on those days?
I can use it as an investor too because there may be certain companies that were on a dip, but they wasn't quite on the right dip just yet. And just from him speaking, I can have an opportunity to buy something at a discount really, really quick if I'm vigilant and I'm paying attention to what's actually going on in the market that particular day. So yes, it
Mhm.
does work for trading and investing because it's times where I've bought a little bit of Tesla at a nice discount because Jerome Powell was talking and he crashed the market. As soon as he finished talking and he started answering questions, the market started rallying. So I just got probably once in a daytime opportunity to get a good company at a discount. So it can work either way.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about you're saying a discount. Now, when it comes to the stock market, people always seem to, well, not people, not some people seem to gravitate to the stock market when, we are in a bull market, when everything is up. But like you're saying, it seems like stocks are the only thing that people don't want at a discount on sale. So, how do we get people to new investors, beginning investors, to not be turned off from the red portfolio or the
Um,
days?
you basically have to train your mind. It's a skill that you're gonna have to basically develop. And one way that I developed this skill is I looked at the longer term results from some of the larger content creators when they show their results because I've been watching this particular content creator for years and they're living proof. They're not showing it to brag, they're showing to inspire. And it's times where, where I wasn't as strong as I should have been. And then I'll see their results and I'll say to myself, like, man, I should have just stuck with this particular investment or stayed in this company. I shouldn't have sold out of this company because look, now it's running. Like I mentioned, I sold my Solana when it was in the $50 range. And look at it now, it's almost $200. And other content creators are showing me that they're still in profit and they're raising their stop loss, and I'm sitting on the sidelines waiting for a discount.
Okay. So what could you have done differently? Should you have taken profit and still held on to a portion of it long term, or should you have just have maybe had a stop loss on it and just it would have just continued to go up? What do
Where
you
I was
think now
wrong,
thinking back
I
on
should
that?
have that particular instance. It wasn't a trade in my mind. It was more like an investment, like a long term investment. So it was down for a while, and as soon as it turned green, good, I
It came back.
pretty
Mhm.
much took my ball and went home. I took my profit and left. I saw a little bit of
Okay.
green. I said, I'm out.
Okay.
But now that I know better, I'll if I were to ever enter back into Solana, I'll have a stop loss, of course, and I'll raise it as I increase in profit. So as though my stop loss to tell me how much I'm supposed to make off of it.
All right. So, two of my investments that I got into as long-term investments that I've often over the last few months mentioned that, they're in the red, but I'm still holding, have been Disney and Target. And over the last few weeks, finally, my Target stock has turned around and I am up, let's see, I am up 12.91%. But I mean, I was in the red for a long time. Not a huge position. It's only 5% of my growth portfolio that I do at Webull, but it's something I wasn't gonna sell it at a loss. And I got into it to be a long-term investment. And it's a local store that I use all of the time. And I they were just going through some things and I had to just bear with it for a while, but it's turned around now and I'm not gonna, even though like you were saying, once Solana finally turned around and got into the green for you, you just
Mhm.
cut your losses, not cut your losses. You sold
I
it
took
at a
my ball
profit.
and went home.
You sold it at a profit and said, "That's enough of that for me. I'm gonna continue to hold on to my target," even though it put me through that pain of all of those months of it being down. Um, so, all right. So this is the ETF Research Center. That's what the ETFRC.com, that's what it means. So this is VTI, which is Prez's favorite ETF, correct?
Correct.
Correct. Okay. So it
Almost
is,
4,000 companies in one basket.
yes. So I still hear sometimes people saying that they don't know what an ETF is. So I just wanted to touch on it quickly. Uh, as we were talking about research tools, I think our focus today was on individual stocks, but this is something that you can look at to look at an ETF. So it's the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. Like I was saying, and Prez was mentioning too about diversification, you have all of these different sectors. They're going to give you a certain weighted percentage across all of these different sectors by investing here. Um,
Hang on,
Let's just
Lisa.
see. I was gonna-
I see a question. Somebody need help. M Sense said, which crypto broker lets you stop loss? I'm driving and listening. Help. I use Coinbase Advance. Just on the regular Coinbase the regular Coinbase app. You just click the little three lines in the top left corner, and you'll click Advanced Trading, and that lets you use the stop loss.
Okay. I don't think there's an admin. If there's I'll have to, maybe I'll tag. I know Keenan did a short on that. Maybe I can tag it in the description once we finish the video. And also, I have it depends on what type of crypto you're investing into. If it's something that is kind of smaller and very specific, newer crypto, you can invest into it on Coinbase, like Prez was mentioning. But Webull also has it. Webull Pay. So Webull kind of broke out their crypto separate from their regular stocks. So Webull Pay also has a stop loss feature on it. And there are some cryptos that I'm able to invest in there, but I also have a Coinbase account. Okay. So, yeah, this is just a tool, one of the tools that I use just to take a look at what the weighted percentage is. This VTI, the current top holding is Microsoft. Number 2 is Apple. Number 3 is Nvidia. Number 4 is Amazon. And number 5 is Meta, which is Facebook. And yeah, you get their current holdings are 3,760. So just an option of something to include in your portfolio and a way for you to look at it. Oh, Goga. Goga sent a raid over to us. Thank you so
Hey,
much,
Goga.
Goga. Goga just must have
I was
finished his
looking at it. I'm
live.
like, I couldn't even concentrate on what you were saying because I'm looking at the chat like, what's going
Like,
on
what
over here? Like, what's going on?
Goga just must have finished his live stream and decided to introduce us to his viewers. I appreciate that, Goga. So,
Welcome.
yes. So, yes, I know for sure 2 people. I'm not sure if Peachy is still here, but Chocolate Drop and Peachy, they are 100% into individual stocks. So I'm just continuing to share about ETFs
Mhm.
um, as a way to diversify your portfolio and give some stability to it through a basic investment like the one I just shared. So, what else are we covering today, Prez? Anything
Another
else
thing
on
that
your
I
mind?
take into consideration when I'm looking at an individual company, I think to myself, I use my own better judgment. I ask myself, how much room does this company have left to grow? And from that point on, once I assess that, that gives me a clear decision on whether or not I would like to invest into this company for the long term or for the short term, or if it's just going to be an in and out type of trade. So a lot of times you have to use your own better judgment along with all of these tools. I recommend you to use them all. Like keep it simple, but sometimes a thought will pop to your head and you already know what tool you need to use. Like so you might hear about a certain crypto. So you want to use the crypto bubbles, or you hear about crypto is booming in general. So you want to go to the crypto bubbles. Or you hear about a particular company having an earnings report, so you want to double check on it, so you can go to MooMoo or Webull for the earnings calculator for the earnings calendar. You can also go to Earnings Whisperer, the actual website, and that gives you like a whole chart layout of the earnings for that week per week, and you can hit a search bar and search individual companies and find out their earnings expectation. What are the analysts saying they're going to earn and things of that nature, and you can find out the results after the fact if you wasn't around for the actual earnings call or earnings report.
Mhm, mhm. Yes, yes. All great tools. Maybe we'll have to, if you, I don't know if you have notes or something, let's make sure to list out all of these different things maybe and the function of, what you can go to them for if we have time to work on that, Press. Chocolate
Mhm.
Drop is asking again, what is an ETF? It stands for exchange traded funds. So there are exchange traded funds, index funds, mutual funds, all kind of similar. They're basically baskets of investments that you can have exposure to, just like the one that I was sharing. Anything else you want to kind of elaborate on that definition or anything, Press?
Yeah, ETF is basically a basket of stocks, and you're already diversified into legacy companies, blue chip companies, companies that are going to be around because you can check what's inside of this basket before you buy it. So that's what I always tell people. What's the ETF? A basket of stocks. You buy this
Mhm.
basket and the stocks inside, but you get to look in the basket to find out the weighting of each one of these companies before you buy it.
Okay. So right now, say for example, VTI, 6.3% is Microsoft and 5.1% is Apple. Now, that is today. That is as of right now, March 2024. I looked at this in one of my videos recently, and I brung it up, and I brung up what it was, I think 20 or 25 years ago. And Walmart was up there in that top five. Now, Walmart is down in the, say, 20 to 25 on the list, somewhere down there. So when you invest into the S&P 500 or a total stock market funds, it changes. As these companies grow, as they become, whatever is the $1 billion, $1 trillion company, the allocation of the investment is gonna change over time. So it's a kind of set it and forget it thing that you don't necessarily have to keep up with. And you may not have the growth that you will in individual stocks, but it is, I think, our recommendation. What's something funny going on over here? It's I think it's I'm
Somebody said at Prez-the-Investor, greetings, does investor laugh? I want you guys to smile and get me to invest in gigacurrency. What is gigacurrency? Is that another meme coin? I gotta look that up.
I think they might be being silly
Oh,
because they came here from Goga. Goga. I think they're
okay,
making up the
okay. I'm like, huh?
Goga coin. Just like the other day, you were coming up with the Uncle Larry coin or something. They're
Yeah,
coming up with
yeah, yeah.
yeah. I think they're just
I
being
think I
they're
did
just
say that in this chat.
yes.
Hmm.
You're always over there making your jokes in people's chats, Prez. I see you around. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's just trying to make a joke about a Goga coin. Yes. Um, so yeah.
I
So I
purposely
just
do it to try to get them to read it and mess up while they talk, and just because I like to play sometimes, and I've grown attached to these people. I feel like I know them personally, and I haven't even met them personally because I've been following them for so long. So we built some type of bond, so to speak.
yeah, it's funny. You feel like you know certain people, or even if certain family members, even if I don't hear from them, just
Hmm.
seeing their story on Instagram or seeing their posts, I feel like I did see them. I feel like I know they're okay. I feel like, oh
Hmm.
yeah, she just went to do this, and even though it might be a couple weeks since I talked to my
Right.
cousin Melissa or whoever, but it's like, oh yeah, like I know she's fine. I see her out there doing this and that and the other. So, yeah, I totally understand with social media, you feel like you get to know people.
Hmm.
Sometimes, like, we're literally waiting for the video, and just you're ready to see that person and hear from them,
Yeah.
even though they're not talking back to you, you feel like you heard from them that day, and you just
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I showed you be waiting for certain content creators to upload a video for that day. I want to hear what this person got to say because I heard the news about something. Well, I can't wait to hear what Stocks with Josh has to say about Nvidia, or Uncle Larry had to say about crypto in general, or what Keenan has to say about Bunkcoin, or the Trident on Shiba Inu. I
Yeah,
look for this because
yeah,
it's another tool that I use to help me on my investment journey. So I
mhm.
do use other content creators as a tool to help me because we all learn from each other.
Yeah, and we have to keep our eyes out to see, did Prez keep up with week, 9 and 10 and 11 in his portfolio building?
Exactly.
So
Exactly. That's accountability in itself. That's another tool I use to help me on my investment journey. I use
yeah,
you guys to hold me accountable to come out with a portfolio update week by week. So it
yeah,
holds me accountable. I say, well, I know I got to put this video out. So I already know I got to deposit this money in here. Already know every day I got to make my daily purchase because it's $5 a day. Even on the day that the market is closed on a weekday, I have a makeup day. The next day the
yeah,
market is open, instead of investing $5, I'm investing $10 because I saw someone ask me that question in one of my comment sections on one of my videos. So yes, it's $5, 5 days a week. That's $25 a week.
mhm,
And I invest it daily. I take my time and I manage my portfolio like a drill sergeant because I'm building it like a pyramid. I look at the different percentage allocation of each company and I make sure I stay on top of it so I know next week BTI down 57% of my portfolio. I know that following week I need to be buying BTI until I get it back over 60% before I buy any more Apple, before I buy any
yeah,
more Microsoft. That way I'm diversified and I'm pretty much safe. I'm not over
mhm.
leveraged in any one particular company.
Alright, alright. You were
I don't
breaking
know if
up
you
a
guys
little.
noticed, but Apple and Tesla has been taking a beating. Am I
Yes,
okay
they
now?
have. Yeah, it's coming through clear now, but you were breaking up a little bit there. So, guys that came
Okay.
over from yes, Gogo,
But
you
yeah,
did put
Apple and Tesla has been
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say,
Go
Goga,
ahead.
yes, you did put
Go
a
ahead.
smile on our faces today. And guys that came over from Goga's chat, please, if you don't mind, drop in the comments and let us know, like, what, if you're not in the U.S., what country you guys are at, because I just wanted to let you know what we're talking about. Prez and I are both in the U.S. We live on the East Coast, and we were talking about investing, and we come on live every Sunday lately, and we're talking about our investing journey and stock market news and ways to build your portfolio, all different type of topics related to investing. But what we talk about, uh I just wanted to catch you guys up and welcome you. If you're interested, please
Yes, welcome.
subscribe to both of our channels and check us out. But, I don't think anybody shared where they're at. Oh, I see someone said that there are, in Germany.
Wow, that is awesome.
So I think Goga is in Kenya, I
Okay.
think. Just to let you know if you weren't familiar with, but yeah, Goga's, viewers are international, all different islands and countries and all of that, yes.
Rwanda, Massachusetts, Kenya.
Yes, yes, Kenya. Yes. So I just wanted to highlight that Prez, we're international today, okay?
Yoga is
Prez,
everywhere.
yes. Um,
I told you
so
your new nickname is Lisa Worldwide.
no, I don't, I mean, I have left the country, but I do not feel well traveled as I would have liked to have been at this part in this stage of life. But oh well, it is what it is.
Hmm. That's okay, because one of these days, you know, you want to tell your boss, like, it's over. It's time to go see the world.
Yeah. I have plenty to do outside of that day job, so I'm ready for it. Um, so we shall see. Yeah, this is the new hashtag. You creating hashtags over here, Press?
Lisa Worldwide. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So anything that you want to share with new viewers, or just a recap of everything that this topic that we were trying to cover, or that we did cover today? Lisa, you have to talk with more confidence that we did cover for our viewers today.
Hmm. Um, yeah, the tools are out there. I hope you had your notepad, your pen and your paper, or I hope you decide to come back and rewatch this and write down the necessary tools that can help you on your journey, because they're out there and they're all free. But you'll see people selling courses. Like a lot of the courses, some of these courses are good, they're worth the money, but then you have those that are basically scams. And I don't want you to fall victim to any type of scam that will discourage you from investing and staying consistent at the end of the day. So when we say do your own research, these are some of the tools that I personally use and others personally use that can help you.
Mhm. So I know we're both a part of Keenan's Discord. When you joined, like how I also want to just touch on this, because some people might think, oh, you join and you don't have to. What kind of work did you put in once you joined? How much time did you take to do the classes? Did you do the classes and the quizzes and build your knowledge? How much work did you put in on your end to get to where you are today, with your knowledge in charting and your, portfolio allocation and all of that?
Once I learned that he was a teacher, I said, okay, it's time to go to school. So I went in there, I went to each class, I did the quiz, I aced them all, and I watched the quiz review and all of that. And I watched every live stream, and I asked questions during the live stream, and he would answer them if he would see them. And if it didn't get answered, I would come back the next live stream and ask the same question. Before I even started actually trading, I watched him for a while. So, because I was kind of nervous as to, can I actually do this? Because you don't want to lose, but you have to grasp the fact that you will lose sometimes. So yeah, when I first entered the group, I was all for it. I'm saying I'm paying my money for this, and
Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to
Yes,
take it
yes,
serious.
definitely.
The last thing I
Yeah.
want to do is just throw my money away. I'm trying to increase my money.
Mhm, mhm. So at a minimum, what do you think that people need to the most basic knowledge that someone can have to get started investing? What would you say just one thing that they could do? They wanna invest, where would you start?
Um, YouTube University,
Mhm.
because they may have questions that can be answered in a simple video, or they may need to work on their actual thought process so they can get an inspirational from this content creator or that content creator that can set them in the right direction as to what they should do. Of course, it's not financial advice, but we're telling you what we would do in this situation, and that it's kind of like advice, but it's not.
Mhm. I would say that for me, I've been working full time since I've been 19, so this part came easy to me. I would say, if you are working for a company that offers you a retirement account, make sure you're contributing to it and getting your company match. And if you are not working at a company that has it and you are working, you have income, whether you're a stay-at-home mom or whatever your situation is, take create your own retirement account and work on building that for when you're older, because
Hmm.
all this hard work and all that we're doing, while we're in whatever age, 20s, 30s, 40s, you got to put in the work now to take care of your older self. So I would say that that is my beginner step in investing. And as a parent, the beginning that you could do is, like I was mentioning earlier, put a little bit towards uh, when you're doing those Easter baskets and Christmas gifts and stuff, also put a little bit aside for the long term for the kids if you're in the position that you can, because we make the money for the sneakers and the video games and all of that. So I'm not saying it has to be an equal amount, but an amount can really grow and do something that could be impactful for them in the future. So, uh, even say
In my opinion,
500.
we have two choices. You either take control of your personal finance, or trust that when you get old, the system is going to take care of you.
Mhm.
Pick one.
And that's the issue, is that, in here in the US, we have, so you may be on Social Security, or your health may have you on disability, but is that gonna be enough to continue to maintain the lifestyle that you currently have today? So, we have to work on our budget and really try to forecast what things are gonna be like in the future. 'Cause, yeah, just putting in that work to take care of your older self. So,
Hmm.
thank you, Blessed Life Journey, for coming over. Um, all right then. So, we will be working on our topic for next week. It was a great discussion. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Goga, for coming and visiting us with all of your friends from your chat. And I think I'm ready to wrap it up for today. So, any closing words for us, Prez?
If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. That's all I got to say in
That's
closing.
all you that's all you ever have to say in closing. Bye guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.